Friends, enemies, and those still under review, welcome back. This is Jack. I still had my microphone up in the standing position. In all honesty, I should probably be doing this stream standing. I'm not. I should. Partly because Zane's going to keep trying to get in my lap, which, you know what? Screw it. I'm switching to standing mode. Y'all going to have to deal with this. I thankfully have a standing desk where I can transition between the two very easily. But as long as I'm seated, Zane will continuously try to get in my lap, and it will distract the ever-loving hell out of me. Go tomate. Now, will this do the trick? Nope. Will this do the trick? Eh, kind of. Alright. Alright. So let's get to talking. There's a lot going on, and there's a little going on at the same time. The one that made me want to start talking about in this stream is Sony seems to have lost its damn mind. It's already had a bad reputation with its past, like, Marvel movies it's done as a whole. Like, the Spider-Verse without Spider-Man verse that they've been doing. And then, like, the Venom movies are all right. Like, they accidentally did a good movie with that. But then they have Kraven the Hunter, Madam Web, and Mobius. And, like, they're joke of a movie. Now, they just announced 2 new movies that have nothing to do with Marvel. Oh, and I think they had a hand in Borderlands. I don't know. Anyway, they've had a joke of a history with the movies they've been doing. And they're like, hey, we're going to release 2 new video game movies. And I'm simultaneously excited and horrified. They are going to be making a Helldivers movie and a Horizon Zero Dawn movie. And I love Horizon Zero Dawn. I honestly do. It's a really fun game. I actually like Forbidden West. I'm really hoping they do a sequel. The only reason I didn't buy the remaster is I don't need it. I don't care for remasters unless it's a game that doesn't exist realistically anymore. Like, if I were to buy Red Dead Redemption Remastered, the only way I could play it is buying the remaster. That's why I would buy it. That's usually the only reason. Or if it's like a massive increase, then I will. Or like it looks much, much better. This was like a slight graphical tweak. It's like, what's the point? At least when they when Elder Scrolls did Skyrim's remaster, they're like, if you already own it and all the DLCs, you just get this for free. It's just a texture upgrade for you. So, kudos to old Bethesda. Modern Bethesda probably wouldn't do that. Sorry, I don't like how my microphone's placed right now. Anyway. And then with the Helldivers movie, it's probably going to end up being a Starship Troopers movie, if I'm being brutally honest with you. It's basically going to be Starship Troopers, but lamer somehow. Like, don't get me wrong, the first Starship Troopers movie is actually a pretty good movie. It's really well done, and it plays into the satire of fascist society and stuff like that. And it does a great job of it. It mocks, actually, what the book seems to promote. And it does a good job of that. And that's what we kind of are expecting with the Helldivers movie, potentially. That's what I'm kind of expecting. And it won't have Neil Patrick Harris in it, which automatically makes it a worse movie. Unless we do have Neil Patrick Harris in it, in which case it might be a better movie. We'll see how that goes. So that's that. Then you have another company, major company, social media company in this case, who's lost his damn mind. First, they did something smart. They actually called off making the, not the MetaQuest 3, MetaQuest Pro, that's what it is. They stopped making the MetaQuest Pro, in which case we're just going to call it Quest Pro, because I hate calling it Meta. Anyway, the Quest Pro, which was like a $1,000 VR headset, and it really wasn't that much of an upgrade from the Quest, regular Quest. Like, there wasn't, because a majority of what makes VR headsets good, in my opinion, is it being able to tie to the Steam workshop, where you can get a hold of like a lot of these indie game developers, like, and that's usually much better off. But if you're paying $1,000, you might as well get the Steam VR headset, because the only thing that this one had is it had AR capabilities with it too, which is similar to the Apple. And like, there was no logical sense for them to make the Quest Pro. And they're like, hey, we're not producing it anymore. We're done with it. Cool. Stick to making cheap headsets. I'm not joking. If you want a niche specialty within VR marketing, make the cheap headset. Make the starter equipment. Because there's a lot of people who would much rather go, you know what, I don't even know if I like VR stuff, so I'm going to spend $300 getting this cheap headset. And then if I like it later on down the road, I'll upgrade to a Steam. But in the meantime, I'm going to stick to the Quest. because you can still look connect it to your Steam library. In fact, there's actually an app directly in there now that connects you directly to your Steam, and you can play your games directly. The only thing missing to me is Discord. I would love it if they added Discord into the MetaQuest. I hate calling it that. I hate calling it Meta. To me, it's still Oculus. Anyway, so there's that. Now, here's what Meta did that is stupid. They recently announced, and then backtracked on, saying, we're going to create bot accounts. I thought media companies were trying to fight those things. What they're doing is they're trying to create a bunch of fake accounts that are run by AI to create the illusion that you're talking to more people than are actually there, to create fake engagement for your stuff. I don't see how that benefits any person. Because there's already issues with like Instagram and stuff like that in other countries where they're straight up just like having to censor like little younger people from watching because it creates this false image of what you're supposed to look like, body image issues, this, that, and the other. And they're like, we're going to create AI stuff where it's going to end up doing that anyway. I already have issues with AI to begin with. It's a great tool, but don't let it make your final product. That's where my issue comes in at. If you're like trying to brainstorm an idea, or like, here's something I use it for. I actually use Google's AI when I'm trying to figure out keywords for like creating the description and stuff for videos. I don't let it write it. I write it myself. I just look for, okay, what words are trending? Which I could just search for it, but this one does a bigger Q, whatever you want to say. So, but then they're like, oh, we're going to create these bot accounts. Well, they got such heavy backlash. Even like Penguinzo made a video talking about it, that they've gone and ran away from the idea of doing it. Deleting the post that they said they were announcing. It's like, okay, like you knew this was a dumb idea. Why'd you even pretend you were going to do this? My cat's food dish just went off. Oh, he's still cleaning himself in my chair. All right, so there's that. And then the other social media thing is Twitter. I refuse to call it anything else. You can lambast me for that if you want. The Muskrat recently came out after he got massive backlash politically. I'm not going to go into that rant. Saying, I don't want negativity on this website anymore, and I'm going to change the algorithm to promote positivity. And I was like, come on, bro. Like you've been the one promoting a lot of the negativity up till this point. Now that it's targeting you, you're having an issue? Come on, man. I really don't like the Muskrat. That's why I don't say him by name. Like, there's some people I don't call by name because I really don't like them and I don't want to use their name. He's one of them, and the Tangerine Toddler is another one. You can figure out who I'm talking about. Yeah, I got the big brain. I actually just got done brushing my teeth like 30 minutes ago. Now I'm drinking coffee. Great way to protect your teeth. But yeah, so like that, we have Sony going, hey, we're going to make a movie. Like, we're not even talking about how, like, going back to talking about Sony and them doing a Helldivers movie. Like, they've done everything they can to try and sabotage Helldivers 2. Now, the developer, Arrowhead, is like, no, a lot of these issues are not Sony doing it, it's our problem. But there are several examples where they can say that, but I don't believe them. And one of the prime examples is the whole PSN login fiasco, where they're like, no, we had always intended for you to have to use your PSN account. It just, because of our initial launch issues, we didn't want to do it. I call bullshit on that, because if that had been the plan from the start, they wouldn't have sold their game in countries where you can't have a PSN account. So, like, that right there is bullshit. Now, they were also having the server issues at launch. Arrowhead's like, hey, that's our problem because we're using an archaic engine, which that's possibly true. I'll go with that. Now, mind you, on that note, Arrowhead said that they are not making a Helldivers 3. They're upgrading Helldivers 2 to become Helldivers 3. Basically, what I'm understanding that to be is they're going to try and convert it to a newer I'm trying to remember the word I'm looking for. It just said it. The basic program, the engine that it's running. Yeah, it's an engine. Basically, they're trying to upgrade it so that it goes to a better engine so that it doesn't have as many issues. Because once again, the engine they're currently using is like not been worked on for like over 5 years. It's an old engine. So, like imagine like playing Helldivers 3, because they'll probably just update the name, and if you already own Helldivers 2, cool, you own it. And it's on Unreal Engine 5 or 10 or whatever the hell we're on at that point, which will probably look really cool. Like seeing a Bile Titan coming at you like, no! Have arachnid warnings everywhere. Arachnid warning, arachnid warning. Oh shit, there's a Bile Titan here. Um, so, but I honestly feel like, yeah, Sony just seems like, oh, you're a successful game in our thing. Let's nurse as much money as out of it as we can. Because I want to say it was Sony who said they're doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down on live service gaming. Because like they see Helldivers 2 doing great, but they're ignoring like all the other games that they've tried to push that failed. So, like mind you, I have no problem with live service games. Like there are some MMOs I absolutely love playing. Final Fantasy 14. I've had so much fun playing it. I have like north of 1,000 hours in that game, which means I got through the first part of the game. What it feels like. And I haven't played the last two expansions. I started the previous expansion, but I didn't get all the way through it. Mostly because the people I play with stopped playing, and so it was just really boring playing by myself. Um, so there's that. Let's see here. I think I had. Hey, Gothic. Oh, actually, I was going to talk to you about something. In case anyone cares about this, I was actually going to get Gothic this, but it turns out she already bought it for herself, so I'm actually a little upset. Apparently, if anybody cares, Dead by Daylight apparently just got apparently a little while ago. They have another one of these coming out. Another DLC. Hang on, let me go to their page. They're like there was a note like I was trying to get it for her, but apparently she already owned that one. There's another one that got announced recently. Oh well, I've stopped caring because I actually don't play this game. They just announced a new one coming out. Let's see if I can find a video on it. No, I guess I was wrong. I guess they don't. I was seeing like weird notes about it. I was seeing something on Twitter about it. I guess I was wrong. You know what? I don't care enough. This is already more than I care about. It's a game I don't care about, honestly. All right. We're going to quickly talk about some anime real fast. All right. About the anime I introduced last week. Headhunted to Another World, Salaryman for the Big Four. Once again, I actually still like this anime. The second episode was not as strong as the first one, but the first one set a precedent. The second one just moved at a slower pace. A new collection came out. Okay. And it's still a good anime. I still recommend watching. It's still on the second episode. I would wait for it to finish first because it does feel like it's an anime that would be. It's much better to binge than try to watch individually. So, Headhunted to Another World from Salaryman to Big Four. Recommend it. Pretty good. And this is another one that dropped 2 episodes on the same day, which caught me off guard. Power Fantasy Trip, Harem. Already telling you all that up front. However, the way they're doing the character is more powerful than the average person kind of thing. It's pretty all right. Like, it's pretty all right. Like, I don't hate it. And the weird harem thing is, so actually I can't tell you because it kind of spoils like the end of episode 2. I'm not going to tell you it, but he does have a harem thing going on. These two girls are effectively the harem so far. But yeah, it just came out not too long ago. I am enjoying it. But basically, the guy was out having fun with his friends, and then all of a sudden he woke up in the redheaded kid's body, and he's like, "What the hell's going on?" And then shortly thereafter, he finds out magic's in the world, but it's like 1 in 100 people can do it. And he's like, "I can do it!" And then it turns out he's like extremely gifted with it. And he's like, of course, because he's an isekai effectively. And it goes from there. It's good. I've actually been really enjoying the genre of like animes and mangas that deal a lot with like the political intrigue of noble society. That's actually why you saw the D&D video came out, which I'm going to talk about. D&D video talking about using noble culture and noble society in D&D games. Oh, I'm pushing the wrong button. I want this one. All right. I had asked Cool Walker for his opinion on doing that video, and I'm going to tell you what he said. Here's his exact words. I'm not going to show you the screenshots of it. Confirm with your game runner to what degree their nobility is and where their notoriety, if they're famous for anything, that this will establish in the game runner's mind how the world would react if you walked into a room. Is it Freddie Mercury back from his homeworld, or is it the guy who fought in the Gulf War but he walked into a peace summit, or are you a nobody of a famous blood? So the only so what he's talking about is what is your family and what are you famous for? And that's a very thing worth mentioning. Now, my one issue with that is he's ignoring the detail of a nobleman talking to a commoner. There is a lot of political. There is a difference in the two behaviors. Of course, depending on the society and culture, but a majority of time in fantasy settings, it's a big deal when a noble talks to a commoner. Um, and a lot of times you would see the commoner, or sorry, the nobleman talking to their assistant, who would then talk to the commoner because reasons. Um, so that's something to keep in mind. So, but if the game is taking place in a noble, like is supposed to be an intrigue game in noble culture where it's dealing with that kind of thing, then yes, you want to talk about what your family is famous for. Is your family from a family of land? Are they a family of status only, of the title? I think it's called. Are they in the noble that only exists in the capital? Are they a family that's out in the boonies? You know, so on and so forth. Are they known for a crop? Are they a merchant family? Go on, so on and so forth. And of course, also you want to find out what generation of the family are they in. Like, not only is it like we're the 15th generation of the bishops, or are they? You also want to include, are they the fifth son, the second son, the first son? Because those play an important factor. Because whether or not they're part of the inheritance. If they're anything past probably the second son, they're probably not in the inheritance line to care. So they're like, cool, I got to establish myself anyway. But if they're like the first son, that actually will play a factor in why the hell are you an adventurer then? So I did poke Cool Walker because he's also a DM. He's a great DM. Me and him have a difference in style, but that's a different conversation. I would like to see him make a response video whenever I do a D&D video. Because in all honesty, I'd rather him be doing the D&D videos. Because he probably would make a much better video and conversation about it. But in the meantime, I'll make videos and he can respond to them if he likes, and then I'll respond to his response. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have a discussion. Sounds fun. All right. I think I covered the immediate things I wanted to talk about. I don't think I really have anything else. Let me check my meme corner. Nope, not seeing any. Yep, none I really need to cover. Sorry, I got distracted. So yeah, no real memes I got to share on that one. So these are effectively the stories I kind of wanted to cover. Anybody got anyone they want to bring to my attention? Any geek stuff going on? Any animes coming out you're interested in? While y'all are doing that, I'm actually going to be talking about. So, this is an anime I've been wanting to watch, but it's only on High Dive, and for the longest time I was putting off because I'm due a free subscription through my Amazon, and I parry everything. I've been really wanting to watch it because around the time I was watching this, there was like a couple animes that were similar, and so I'm finally going to get around to watching. Because I'm just going to activate my free High Dive for 7 days, watch it, and then not redeem it. But then I'm like, wait, it's $6 to maintain a subscription. And I can cover that. Like, I don't want to because I have enough subscriptions as is. But there's apparently a lot of animes that have been catching my attention. Like, but it's only on High Dive. I'm like, okay, fine. I might as well go ahead and do it. So guys might get more anime recommendations, and it might be beyond Crunchyroll. This is actually big news. Hang on. Well, not big news. So, news got out about Elden Ring Night Rain. Elden Ring Night Rain. And I was already excited about this game. Because one, it's a FromSoft game. By default, I'm interested in it. By default, I'm interested in it. And I like roguelike games. I actually do like roguelike games. But what made this game even more interesting to me is its price. News are out right now saying it's going to be $40. We're not paying $60 for a brand new game, which they probably could have charged, honestly. They're like, no, it's $40. There you go, $40. Here's the new game. We're reusing a lot of assets anyway, so here you go. Like, we remade some of the bosses from Dark Souls to make them Elden Ring stuff. Maybe just upscaled them a little bit, but here you go. If you want to know the reason why I really like FromSoft. This is why. They could have easily taken advantage of fans like me, who would have paid the full $60 and probably bought the collector's edition anyway, for no effing reason. But they're like, no, same price as our Erdtree DLC. In fact, we probably would have made this a DLC for Elden Ring itself, but we needed it to be a standalone thing for various reasons. This is awesome. I love it. Like anytime you have a great like a company like FromSoft, okay, pretty much only FromSoft off the top of my head, it was like, yeah, we could probably charge you a full $60 price for a game, which I still wish we were back at 50. We're like, nah, we don't need to pay that. You don't want me to make you pay that much. It always makes me happy. It always makes me smile. Ugh. Oh yeah, gotta love FromSoft. All right. I think that covers what I wanted to cover. Like, this is really an impromptu stream. I wasn't planning on streaming today, but I do need to find a day to stream on Coffee Over Game. It can't be Fridays and it can't be Thursdays. Fridays, I'm going to try and go out in the town, so I'm actually changing my stream day from that day anyway to Saturdays. And Thursdays, I got D&D. And D&D takes priority. I'll need to figure this out. Anyway, appreciate everybody being here. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. You'll know the next time I go live. And I'll probably chop some of this up and turn it into a separate video. So if you didn't catch the whole thing, you might see a video about a part you missed that you might be interested in. Anyway, on the next one.